What's up, everybody? My name is Norm. Welcome to the UFO Buster Friday Night Freakout. We are here. I am your host, and this is an app 2 stream. Please excuse any of the little miscreants that happen and things like that. But we are here. We are live. We are just gonna chat about anything y'all want to chat about. I've been pulling up a little bit of what we got here. Just today's UFO pictures, just off of Bing, real quick. You guys have all seen these, so we'll go ahead and back that out. But like I said, my name is Norm. I am part with UFO Buster Radio, and we got some guys coming on tonight. First one we're going to have come on real quick is a guy named Alien Beer. We're going to see what he's all about today. Alien Beer, what is going on, sir? How are you today?
Hey man, how are you? First
I'm
way.
good. Nice to see you today.
Yeah. Aliens.
Well, we're not seeing you today. We're just going to hear you, apparently. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Can't
Awesome
can't
deal.
can't see the aliens, man.
Nope. And speaking of which, have you had any encounters lately? After everything that's been going on this week, it's been a really busy week, but anything happening with you?
Oh, alien encounters and maybe in the who knows? Maybe in the dreams, man. That's where they get at.
That's a good question right there, man. I still can't say I remember a single dream that's happened to me lately. It's been kind of just blank in there. Everything going on with the COVID, and well, I guess you could say it's kind of cool. We got some sports heading up. I know you're not. I guess you're not big on sports, but not a lot of people are, and there are some who are. And
Well, I know you're very well in tuned into hockey.
yeah, I've been keeping up with the NHL stuff. Las Vegas Golden Knights got a team. One, I guess a few wins away from getting into the main show. We got the Tampa Bay Lightning. They're doing their thing. And, and football starting. Yesterday was the first NFL game. And that was interesting, to say the least. But we're not here to talk about sports. We're totally here to talk about UFOs, paranormals, ghosts, and all that. In the news, really, basically, from what I understand, not too much today. Uh, as far as I know, Elon has scheduled a couple more hops for the rocket. And I don't know. We'll see. We've had a lot of news about the fires lately, and unfortunately for us out here, our sky's got a lot of that smoke. So the usual satellites and little blinkers that we see all the time, those aren't really going to be that easy to see through all that smoke. Whereabouts are you, and do you guys have those problems?
Oh, here in New York, we got no smoke, but that alien's got a problem. He's got no nose, and he's not covered by that mask, man. What's with all these people, not covering their mouth and not their nose? You got any insight on that?
No, no. To tell you the truth, it's for me, it's been a personal choice. I don't know. Just you got to go with what you can do, man. If you got a bunch of COVID idiots running around, then you got to take care of yourself. You got to watch out for that stuff.
Well, at least you wear glasses, man.
Or if you think
Protect
that,
yourself a little bit.
or if you think that there's going to be like nothing of this, then just do what you do. This is America. It's a free country. You can do what you want. No big deals. But as far as I would say I would trust the doctors. I didn't go to medical school, so I know a lot of people have been sick from this, and it's just getting worse. So we got to just kind of buckle in, take control of stuff. Yeah, you guys know it more than we do out here. New York's been under lockdown a few times, and you guys got Cuomo and stuff like that. So it's a rough game. It's not even a game really. It's a rough show.
It kind of is a game,
Well,
You see the gameplay.
yeah. Unfortunately, though, it's more serious than that. I don't know. I guess you could say it's a hell of a year to grow. Grow spiritually, grow mentally. Stay at home working out isn't so bad. Running around the neighborhood, getting to know your surroundings a little better. But I don't know. if you got close family, then you're kind of set. At least you got something to do, with somebody. I know a lot of people out there, they don't have anybody, so it gets kind of hard for them. Anyway,
Exactly.
yeah,
So back to aliens and
back to
and
aliens.
rhetoric.
I thought we'd come to this point to where we really didn't have much to say, so I kind of pulled out some books. Now, these are books that I've actually read over the years. I don't have the communion one on me, but that was like
Oh
probably
yeah, Communion.
my
I
first
got that one. I never read it though. It scared the shit out of me when I looked at the cover.
Yeah, I tell you, that was one hell of a cover. It is one heck of a cover, though, because me too. You look deep into those eyes and something happens. There's something about those. If I ever recalled seeing something like that for real, I don't know if I could actually.
You shit your pants, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, but nobody's gonna see that part. But
No,
I
they'll
still
just
have to
throw
live
you
with
into a hole and
it. It's
hey,
you still got to live with that inside, right? I don't have to do it personally because I haven't had that experience, but I can only imagine that if somebody does have that vivid memory of seeing something like that,
kind of like Fire in the Sky kind of shit, where you're in a alien spacecraft and you're in this pod. Oh, there you go.
Travis,
And you're in this pod and you're like, oh, what am I in? And you're in this
exactly,
like
exactly.
you're just
What are
clawing
you
away at this weird thing, and you're like, where the
well,
fuck am I? I'm
That's
floating.
interesting. It's
I'm in
interesting
zero
because
G.
what are we gonna do? We're gonna either one of two things. We're gonna either flight or fight, right? So
Well,
so
he did twice. He was flying in space.
well, yeah. Well, he also ran, but he had to do a lot of fighting out of it too,
You
right?
can't do a lot of running either. You're in zero
No, not
G.
not not at all. That would be something right there. Trying to escape in outer space, I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, because there's definitely an airlock you should not,
Yep.
open
Yeah.
up unless you just
Exactly.
like fuck you
Exactly.
aliens and try to space.
No, it just goes to show that experiences are everything, man. So the more that we get the information and the more that we kind of throw that up against what we've learned in the past and then judge it for ourselves and say, okay, well, that might make sense or that might not make sense. And without doing anything, without saying something stupid to somebody, you gotta weigh it out to yourself. I mean, the little things that I've seen, they're small and minuscule into the comparisons of what these other people have seen. Some of those photographs that I had up earlier, some of those have got to be some actual photographs. I've seen some stuff that gets kind of close to that, but I've never seen anything like a disc yet. That'd be something. The triangle or something like that.
What, you never played frisbee?
Yeah. Those things are made to fly around, and they've got it down pretty good, from what I can hear.
Oh,
So,
that's anti-gravity. Who
oh,
knows?
I like
Nikola
that. And
Tesla here on Long Island, out on the coast, he was experimenting with all kinds of electrostatic generators, wireless energy transferring,
mm,
and AC, DC currents, that sort of thing. For those who are science geeks or
Nikola Tesla is one of
just
my
want to
heroes.
know shit.
Nikola Tesla ended up being one of my biggest heroes. And it looks like it looks like if you look at Elon Musk, you've got Nikola Tesla, but they can't stop him apparently.
Yeah, I think he's basically the Nikola Tesla versus NASA or something like
21st
that.
of the 21st century, maybe. I mean,
Perhaps. I mean, that I'm just throwing a bone out there like that.
and I counter with I would not counter, but I would go along the same line as saying, what if Nikola Tesla had the same support and backing that Elon Musk had? What then? where would we be then?
Oh, well, probably flying cars by now.
I think I gotta
Well,
agree with
I think maglev trains would definitely be one of them. One from New York all the way down to DC, down to wherever the fuck.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that it turned into that because, I mean, we all know that J.P. Morgan Chase basically was
Really? The oil
financer,
companies?
financer. He was a financer of Tesla, and then when he found out that power for nothing, free energy, no, he backed out.
Nobody needs that. He
Backed
was
out,
definitely
right?
into the oil companies too.
Exactly. So, they had two different energies, and
One
one
you could make money off of. The other was
and one you couldn't, right?
free. You can't make money off of free.
No, you can't. I mean, well, yeah, I guess you could. I mean, advertise. You can advertise anything, anywhere, right? So
That's definitely true.
that would bring down the costs of any advertising. Free, free energy to make
You
an
can
advertising.
charge for the advertising.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, somebody's got to pay the camera guy. Somebody's got to pay the physical labors, right?
Yeah, it's just power.
Ex-
Everything runs on power. So uh,
Yeah.
wouldn't there be more jobs
Now,
created
I
because
guess,
there's
I
more
guess,
power?
yeah, and true. But I guess one of the fears that I haven't actually been able to figure out yet is if we had this free energy, from what I can see, the pictures show a lot of electricity just floating around in the sky, and
What? You talking about the ionosphere?
yeah,
Or
yeah. I mean,
what about
how could we
what was
fly
that
planes
project?
without the danger of being electrocuted? You know what I mean?
Oh, electrocuted just walking out your door.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know about that, but
Well, I know.
what about the science experiment out in Alaska? That was that big, enormous. Um, what is it called? Come on, you must know about this. They beamed out microwave electric energy out to the ionosphere. It was a big. I'm blanking out now. They don't want me to remember.
It's okay. That's why we got Google. Let's see. No, 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 no. Nothing to do with bird flu, right? well,
Berkeley College? No.
well, and that was another thing I was going to talk a little bit about was California and all their advances in high tech stuff. Um, you know, where does it all go, right? No, I'm not seeing anything. I looked up Alaska experiment. Oh, that's Google. No wonder. I have to go through like 17 ads. Oh, prepares for a launch rocket. Are they doing Poker Flat Range? Are they doing launches and from Alaska now? Rocket launches from Alaska? Anchorage Daily News. That was January 20. Yeah, January 25th. I wonder if it went off. Regardless, I don't know. I mean, what do we do? Right now, I mean, we only got so much oil, right?
I remember it was harp.
Harp.
Yeah, harp. I remembered. I was trying to Google it, but I remembered before I could Google
Yeah, look, I didn't
it. Google ain't shit.
Well, they try to make it. I guess for me, every time I go on to Google, they're trying to show me
Yeah.
something I wasn't really looking for.
Oh, that's why you started to use Bing, right? For
Yeah,
UFOs.
yeah. Well, I
Yeah, why
always,
don't you ask Jeeves?
I always just Ask Jeeves kind of guy. I like the Ask Jeeves. That was always my favorite.
Yeah, it's that sound. It's like, oh, you're asking Jeeves. Hey, Jeeves.
Ask Jeeves.
Why don't you make me a cup of coffee?
What was really cool is at the beginning of this browsering thing, Ask Jeeves came up and it actually would show you what everybody was looking up in your own words, in their own words. It would show you right there. And I was like, wow, the people are just looking up this and they're just looking up this and they're just, So it gave me ideas about what I should look up, right? I don't know.
All
That
right.
that was
So what
always
did you look up, man? Let's
porn.
hear what you looked
Always
up.
porn. It was always porn. High tech stuff, right? No, to be honest though, browsers they do what they do. But what were you guys gonna say about harp?
Who wants that shit?
And what was harp? Because I'm not very familiar with it.
Oh, it's just a bunch of strings that makes musical instruments, according to them.
Nice. What a help you are. I guess I'll have to look it up myself someday.
No,
But
they basically took a ginormous grid of the electricity to see what the effect would be on the ionosphere.
okay.
And apparently they were seeing in that region more coronal, not coronal mass ejection. What the fuck am I talking about? More northern lights.
Oh, okay.
So it was affecting, it was charging the atmosphere, the ionosphere that creates the northern lights. Of course,
Uh,
the northern lights, with whoever doesn't know about them, the sun emits radiation and electromagnetism to our planet, and our basically the core spins around and makes an electromagnetic field to prevent us from all frying, and when it gets highly charged, there's rings around it that just like band around, and you get some light shows, for layman's terms, I guess.
well, thank you. I appreciate that. You know what? I just realized we've got a chat room in here, and
Yeah, we got Green Man, Game Vet. I thought Game Vet was taking
if I
off.
had had this damn thing on, I probably could have moved that along a little bit quicker. Anyway, uh, yeah. What's up, Game Vet? Hey, Green Man, welcome to the show. We're just talking about some stuff that happened in Alaska, apparently. Well, now let me ask you this:
They're looking for
all
a
that energy is trapped up there in the ionosphere. Can we use it?
should you use it?
Well, that's a good question too. How powerful is it? Is it overpower? Is it? I mean, because we play with is AC and DC, right? We don't. That's some plasma, I guess.
Oh, that's what Tesla was experimenting with the ionosphere, technically, wireless transmission of electricity. So technically, there's energy all around us that we can use. I mean, there's geothermal, there's lightning storms, so why not use that thought process and just like, hey, pop into it.
Hmm. Now that makes a lot of sense if you're thinking in the UFO term, because those guys use that stuff, right? I mean,
Oh
they
yeah, especially electromagnetism, right?
yeah. But now then the question becomes, okay, well, we're all juicy inside, so we're going to need some sort of an inertia dampener. Am I correct?
Oh, not technically.
Oh,
Depending. I mean, if you're thinking about UFO technology, it's way
yeah,
beyond really our comprehension of physics.
the fact
But
that they move.
inertial dampeners from Star Trek and shit like that
Yeah,
comes into play.
yeah, I would think so. I would think you would need something like that to keep your guts from going on the outside.
Or just, hey, let's paint this thing red now. Because
Exactly.
all these test pilots,
Yeah, I hear. Actually, I heard an astronaut say once, crying is not a very comfortable thing in outer space. A tear,
no, I wouldn't think so in zero G,
yeah, a
because
tear coming out of your
it,
eye.
it, it doesn't go down your face.
Yeah.
It just stays in your fucking eye. So you just watery eyes and you can't see shit. So how are you gonna do anything? It could just, if you like, squeeze your eyes together, then it's just gonna float around, and then somebody's gonna be like sucking it in their lungs if like cosmonaut or something comes by.
Well, no,
It's
I'm
like,
sure.
hey, watch your
I'm
tears,
sure they've
bro.
had some like sneezies or some stuff like that floating around inside their helmet when they're trying to get ready. But these guys are pros, man. They've trained most of their whole life for that sort of a thing. And now apparently Elon Musk and others, Bronson and such, they all think that anybody should just go up into outer space and it'll be a-okay. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, space is a-okay, I guess. I mean,
Just
we
jump up there, maybe get a rocket,
uh,
like Rocket Man.
Rocket Man. Well, he had a jetpack.
Yeah, I heard about that guy. I heard
No,
about that.
I'm talking about the movie, man. Rocket
Oh
Man.
yeah,
He just had a fucking jetpack, and he was like, "Oh, let's." I'm not gonna blow myself up.
yeah. Did he go into the future or something through some sort of a time warp? Or
No. He just had a rocket pack, man.
sounds
But
good.
what about the astronaut farmer? That was some cool shit. You build rocket in your goddamn barn, and you got the FAA crawling up your ass all the time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but they let him go to it. Apparently, accidents happen, and
Well, it was a movie, so
yeah. Well, the first one I actually remember was one of the space shuttles taking off, and a kid stowed away on the space shuttle, or it was a rocket or something. But I
what?
yeah, you don't remember? No, how?
What? China?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the movie. It might have been Space Boy or I can't recall it, but a kid stows
Oh,
away
okay. Never
on
mind.
a spacecraft. The spacecraft goes into outer space, and of course they have technical issues. They find this kid on here, and he's the only guy who can save the whole mission because he's so small. And that was the whole premise of the show. That's why the show worked and how I ended up
Oh
finishing it.
man, they shouldn't have made crawl spaces for that.
Really, really, and he was like maybe they said I think 85 pounds because he was just a little kid, maybe just a couple years in junior high school. Who knows? Nothing like a high school kid. Maybe
What
grade school.
about the rocket fuel that they were designed to
Yeah, no,
use?
no, they measured it and they put that in the movie too. They said, well, hey, we got 85 extra pounds. He's like, I don't know, maybe it's a rat.
Maybe it's a bunch of rats, and they're eating an electrical system.
We would shut
Oh
that
man!
down in a heartbeat today for sure.
All right, so there's this new Netflix show. It's like 10 episodes long, and it all has to do with going to Mars. I believe it's called Lost or something like
Lost? Oh, the new Lost or Lost in Space.
that. Hold on.
I think it could have been the new Lost in Space. A lot of good ones out there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't follow a lot of it, but Alien. Yeah, there we go. GameVet says Alien. But you know what? It's to get back to what we were talking about. As far as from what I've read, I guess it's the best therapy sometimes. Doing things like this, these little podcasts, writing it down,
Sorry,
writing
it's
a book
called
or something.
Away.
Away. Okay.
Away. Yeah.
But as I was saying, the whole thing about everybody, if they have an experience like that, a lot of people are finding ways to vent it, right? Instead of locking it up inside. I'm hearing a lot of stories from older folks who had these little secrets in them for so long, and now that everybody's kind of been locked in their houses, they're finding these little podcasts, they're finding these little episodes on YouTube and stuff like that, and they're starting to think, maybe it's okay to share about this stuff. Maybe I'm not the only one. Maybe I'm not crazy.
No, you're not crazy because the military, there's a lot of people coming out, because the classified level
Yeah, I try to learn as
has,
much as I can from the
yeah,
military.
it's just been so long. Now they can actually legally speak out, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, it's not like it used to be, for sure. And things are still changing, right? Um, uh, but there's other important things, I guess. So they come across these things. So I guess the ones who are really just if they go through the experience and they're like the forefathers, right, of us. They're going out there and they're writing about this. They write books like Disclosure, uh, fantasy books way back, way back, way back when.
Yeah, the Foo Fighters. But
Yep.
before that, you got biblical experiences
Yeah. Yeah.
where Shining Light, the grave digger, the person with the on the fields creating crop circles and shit,
To me,
and they didn't
to
know
me, it
what
seems like
that
it's all
was.
connected. To me, it seems like it's all connected. Um, uh, the story about the giants and on Manny's podcast,
Oh, the
a couple of weeks
Anunnaki,
ago,
right?
yeah, the Anunnakis. Those things, they amaze me because it almost fits in like we're missing some piece of puzzle, and that thing almost fits perfectly in there, right? Um,
Oh, hell yeah, it
the
fits perfectly.
timeline, the physical evidence that is, why is there a screw inside this antique rock, this ancient 10,000-year-old rock? You know,
What about like the? It wasn't just a screw, man.
well,
Wasn't there like a watch or something
the
in another?
Baghdad battery.
It is a battery and it still worked.
Well,
That would be funny if that
we're
actually.
talking technology that wasn't supposed to be there is there, and I don't know. It
Well,
seems
maybe there was some science
possible.
experiments that happened, and some of the screws came loose and went back in time.
Life experiments. I like that. Yeah. How many times have you
Screws
tried
come
to?
loose and whatever kind of thing that you make, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what if it's some particle accelerator experiment and there's some screws on some sort of device, I don't know, or maybe the particle accelerator itself, and it just went poof. You don't know where it went, but it's missing.
Good question. Yeah. So, are you talking like overlapping uh, dimensions?
I I don't know if it's overlapping dimensions. I'm just
I've heard
thinking
the
about this dimension first.
well, then that's the thing. We should be right, but if a dimension's kind of in movement with space, and another one's over here, and it's kind of, if you imagine like waves, how they kind of temporarily pass through one another. Um,
Well, what about the ley lines?
the what?
Are the ley lines?
Of
Uh,
the old Aztec lines?
no, the ley lines. They're all over the earth, and there's pockets of energy at certain points.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of like the Bermuda
The
Triangle.
Bermuda Triangle, right?
Yeah, but there's a triangle out in the Atlantic. There's a triangle in the
There
Pacific.
is. That's
Yeah,
true. That is true. Yeah. Yeah.
but
And,
they all lay on the ley lines.
well, oh man. So yeah, it's one of those things. I hope you guys get a chance to look up in the stars a lot, don't you? You're still looking, right? You still want to see one, right? Like a UFO.
I'm pretty sure that everyone wants to see UFO.
Really? That's interesting. That's cool. I
Yeah,
like that.
no, they just rather look at their phones.
Well, there's actually some kids who are like that for sure. I know. They'd rather just go, huh? But I mean, what are you gonna do? We were all kids once, right? I don't know what would have happened if I was a kid and I had a phone like that, though. Whew.
Oh yeah, and you capture a UFO and the government van pops up, like what Game Vet said.
Well, yeah, no, he's right. How much easier would have it been back then? Now there's so
No, I
many.
was talking about that
There's so many
same
phones.
thing, and I had that happen too. Some
Yes.
random people just parking outside my house because I saw a fucking UFO in the sky.
Ah, very nice.
And I start telling people, "Oh, bad idea."
I bet GameBet says, I bet if you had a video of an alien craft that government as well was well aware of, something like, oh, I'm sorry, he's scrolling it up. Hold on. Yeah, they had the van outside and follow you at all times. I don't know, man. I think there's too many. I think there's too many phones. There's too many people. There's too many witnesses. There's too many. I don't know. What's the point? What are you going to harass some guy
Green
about,
man.
right?
Do they
How?
have eyebrows?
I,
MIB don't.
yeah. So what do you do? You go. You gonna take everybody out who sees a UFO? I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe it's
No,
just
it's a lot easier to think that they're crazy or they just saw some swamp gas
or you put.
or a balloon.
I mean, that it is the easier, softer way. You can just tell them, look, you're not seeing what
How
you're
does
seeing.
balloons move like that, and why are they shaped in a triangle?
Well, here at the military, we've been testing a lot of different things. That's the answer you're going to get, and
Why
that's
don't
all
you
there
just
is.
say it's a nanotechnology cloud that's in the shape of this
There
or
you
that or anything?
go.
That would be more believable.
Pretty scary, man. Nanotechnology is not a. It's that can creep into you.
Dude,
I,
that nanotechnology creeps me out. They got a lot of stuff, even and they're in a fucking university like
yeah,
Caltech, MIT. They're experimenting with all sorts of nanotech, and besides the really cool shit like nanocarbon fiber and nanocarbon tubes that have uh, fuck copper, fuck gold,
yeah.
nanocarbon fiber and
It
tubes,
transfers
man.
energy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
like 100 times faster. I mean,
yeah.
think of fiber optics. We would think that would be magic,
Well,
but
doesn't
now
that
we're
pull
using it.
the ancient aliens out of the water then? Because one of their big theories is the reason aliens came all the way here, or way back when, was because they wanted the gold. Wouldn't they be able to come up with that technology? You know?
Well, maybe they use the gold with that technology as well, or maybe that's their fuel source.
Hmm.
Think of
Oh, that would suck.
cold fusion with gold. I mean,
That would suck.
that would suck.
I'd rather do something with diamonds because we know we can find diamonds everywhere in the universe. We got a whole planet, I think, made of diamonds.
Yeah. Hey, have you been to K Jewelers? Apparently, they're very rare, except here in Ghana, we search everybody out of the mine.
This has been quite the podcast, guys. So, if you had a rant today, what would it be, Alien Beer? If you had something that just you had to just freak out about, what is it?
Um, I, I'm pretty chill actually. Freaking out about something. That alien has no nose.
This one.
Yeah, there's no slits in the nose, and the face mask isn't covering it.
Well, this one doesn't either. I guess, to be honest, I mean, I guess the nose is getting unpopular. I don't
Yeah, they don't need to breathe atmosphere, right?
know. They just
It's
breathe into
probably
the
just a
eyeballs.
spacesuit, though. Oh man, just like what Fire in the Sky or something. Apparently, there's a bunch of suits in that room. Remember that
Yeah,
in the movie?
yeah, I do.
Maybe that's why there's no nose.
Yeah, maybe because it's a suit. Makes sense to me.
Game vet magnets is the way to go.
Kind of slow for my taste. Because I believe, I mean, it doesn't magnets does magnet speed? Does it go one
Wait,
speed?
magnet speed?
Yeah. Well, so you got the north magnet and you got the south magnet. You let them both go and they go
Yeah.
together, but at a certain speed. Now, does that change if the magnets are bigger?
Oh, they change if the poles are closer.
If the poles are closer, the speed would change
Yeah, and they're farther away, it would be slower.
because of gravity or just
Magnetism.
friction. Because friction slow down magnetism, right?
Yeah, of course it does. But
Yeah.
in zero G, you got no friction except for the parts themselves.
Hmm.
Well, it's basically part of gyroscopes.
Hmm. Superconductors. Reman says superconductors just need to keep it cooled.
Oh yeah, like negative Kelvin, kind of cool.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And, how do we have all these technologies without so many superior accidents, right? Somebody's doing their work.
Yeah, a bunch of UFOs crashing.
Well, sometimes the screws fall out of those things too, right?
I guess so, but that screw is pretty janky.
It would have to be.
Yeah, it's a screw that you can bend it and it'll just pop back in.
Paul the alien, right? Well,
Oh, Paul, the movie.
he's the one who put that. He's the one who put that spaceship together. Well, think about it, man. That dude. That could you imagine though? That was one of my favorite movies, by the way. It was like almost like my second ET, the second coming of ET. It was my adult
And
version of.
an adult version of ET.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved that movie. I still do. I thought it was great. But yeah, I don't know if a character like that. I guess you would have to be a character like that if you ever wanted to get away from Area 51, huh?
I would want to know that alien.
I saw something on YouTube the other day, I think, about another Area 51 in some other country. Um, Oh,
Yeah.
I know what I know what I wanted to rant about. I had my thing. So apparently, every goddamn country in this world now has to have a space force. I thought it was the funniest thing. Everybody's jumping on board. Everybody's got to have some sort of a space place.
I
It's
thought that was the term
organization.
for cosmonaut in Russia.
Yeah, yeah, and it's starting to get a little bit ramped up to me, I think, and
Yeah, that shit's janky.
it really is. It really and it's dangerous. China almost accidentally dropped one of their rockets on a high school. Young minds at work. Um, well, we talked about that one already, and a lot of people are just out there trying to get there first. It's
Get where first? We already
yeah,
been
get
to space.
where first? Why? I mean, they say, oh, we want to get resources from the moon. What kind of fucking resources do you think you're going to get off of that dusty ass planet? Or
It
body?
could have been the runes that they supposedly didn't find.
Well,
That's a
of course,
conspiracy theory in itself.
and that would be the additional. That would be the stuff we would like to see. But that always comes after, right? They always want to get in there and make everything secured first. Uh,
Yeah, like the Nazi Bell program or whatever. Apparently, they made a Bell UFO.
mm, yeah, I've seen the
Well,
footage.
all kinds of stuff.
They did. They experimented with almost everything, I think.
Yeah, everything. Sadly, with too many humans too.
Yeah, I guess he was into a lot of mythological, stuff as well. But
Oh, there's a lot of history grabbing with Hitler. I mean,
yeah,
especially in Africa.
yeah,
What was that guy's name?
yeah. Africa.
Yeah, they went to Africa and tried to rob all kinds of tombs and
Oh
shit.
yeah, they were looking for the
Yeah,
that the covenant to the
I don't, and that's not really what they
Raiders
were
of the
looking
Lost
for.
Ark. I thought they were. I thought they were looking for that.
Well, of course they were looking for that, but that wasn't really the goal. They were looking at the Egyptian mythology of all the spacecraft shit that was on the tombs, and all the mythology of all the ancient pharaohs. Who one of them was green. Like you've never seen Ancient Aliens before.
Oh yeah, Yeah, I've seen him. I not religiously. I,
But all the chimeras that they depicted, like head of a fucking jackal or a crocodile with a human body, you
right.
got all that stuff.
Yeah. No,
Like
I'm on the
what?
side.
Why would they depict some pharaoh with the head of a crocodile and he's got staff too? You know, they all
Yeah.
got staffs. What does that staff do? Oh, I'll beat you into submission.
That'd be a scary thing, man. I wouldn't want those guys to come back being all angry at us.
Unless they're dead. And that's what he was looking for, the tomb of them.
Oh, okay. So maybe they're
Yeah.
gone. Maybe they're extinct then.
Well, think about it. The Egyptians had batteries,
Well, no,
even
no,
though they
no.
were
I mean,
made out of
no, no,
clay and shit.
alien beer. Oh, my belief is I always thought that the Egyptians showed up and that stuff was already there. So,
That's a possibility. I've never even actually thought of that.
oh yeah. Well, Samaria dates back 10,000 years before Egypt, right? Um,
Yeah, something like that.
yeah, it's a good long time.
I don't think carbon dating can, because it's all rock.
Right, right, right. Exactly. Oh, yeah. But I mean, all those. I mean, Sumerian. They gave us so many things. They gave us the language. And this is all down in Iraq. You know, this is where it all started, which is today's Iraq. I know they call it something else, but
Yeah, for the history lesson, Tigris and Euphrates River.
so you get all that thing started, and you maybe it was time to go, and they just left, and they had done what they thought they needed to do. They created a species who could gather all that gold that you talked about and load it up and say, okay, well,
No, you talked about gold. I talked about nanocarbon.
now I would think a species as smart as an alien would actually already have that. Why would they need to go? But then you brought up maybe they're
Yeah.
using both at the same time, which is something I hadn't actually thought of. And what kind of power would that bring?
Well, we have carbon, and they can fish for gold in asteroids and shit like that, but we got carbon.
Well,
And the
anyway,
simple
so
thing as a tree, right? That's
yeah, so
carbon. We
and
are carbon-based life forms.
here we are 60 years after the facts of others have tried to look into these things, and now we're doing kind of the same thing, trying to figure out the best technologies to use for the people, because we ain't going nowhere. This planet's just, people are just pouring out of it. I mean, there's no stopping that, right? We're all going to procreate. It's going to be a little slower here because of COVID, but it's still going to go on, right? So people are still going to continue to inhabit this planet, and there's only so much room on this planet, and there's only so many
So
resources,
many resources, yeah.
right? And so there's got to be a true exit plan, right? Um,
Get your ass to Mars.
exactly. So do we trust all these guys who are in charge right now? Bottom line of this, I mean, we're talking,
I don't know about that,
and they're
especially
not
our
really.
president.
I wouldn't say they were in charge,
Space
but
Force, let's just kill each other in space instead of on the ground.
right, exactly. I don't agree with Space Force, but I believe it is a necessary evil, because if you're going to have one crazy country go out there and say, okay, we're going to lock everything down, I don't think that's right.
No,
I
it's
still
got to do with funding. Like military funding is off the wall. You got Lockheed Martin, DARPA. Who knows who else? Who's in the shadows?
yeah, they hold the big secrets. They got all the big
For
secrets.
all we know, there's already a base on the moon. It's probably
Yeah,
on the dark side.
I've seen some questionable photographs. I've looked at the moon a couple of times myself, and just
Well,
said it just looks odd.
there's towers and shit there.
Yeah, no, like you're used to looking at the moon down here on Earth like a normal young lad or lattice, and you look up there and you see the face, and you kind of imagine the face on the moon. But sometimes I look up there, man, and that thing don't look like a face anymore. It's like craters seem to be shadowed a little differently, and
Yeah, white light's just coming out of it.
yeah, where's that white light coming from, dude? I swear it's like a light bulb, right?
That ain't just a big mirror. Who the fuck put that there?
That oh wow, that'd be creepy. I don't know seeing a mirror right, like if you had Earth here and then everybody just looked at a mirror. Ooh, like a mirror that big, right?
Well, they did put a small mirror on the moon to reflect infrared beams, I believe, on one mission.
With lasers. Oh well, they'd have.
Yeah.
That's a good way to communicate for sure. It's fast way. As
Well, it
long as
was an old school way, actually.
now they got satellites everywhere.
It was a very tiny mirror, but
But a very powerful laser, I'm sure. I don't know, man. So
well, you're talking about that back then, after first man on the moon.
yeah. Uh,
Around
uh,
that time, they put a mirror on the moon
I,
for communication, whatever. I guess they had rovers before, just like how
no,
China, Russia tried to put in rovers of
I
the
did.
not
Yeah.
like Mars, you know.
One thing I do remember about that, moon was the dust is actually sharp, and very, very tiny, of course.
Yeah, you don't want to inhale asbestos either.
No, exactly. Yeah, the same attributes kind of apply there, but they were cutting up their suits when they originally got in there, and that could be a big problem. So
Yeah,
they
it's
actually
like glass dust and shit like that.
they had to develop better material. Um, and I don't know. I guess these guys think they got the show on and they're ready to go on the road with it, man. Uh, they're making rockets.
Well, they better.
They're making rockets. They're going to launch 100 people at once. That's
Oh, you
unheard of.
talking about this?
The Hopper.
Yeah, 100 rockets in several months or something like that.
Well, they want to do it by 20. They want to get it started by 2022. Um, that would
Yeah,
be
you talking about Elon Musk?
the big rocket, the space station. I forgot what it's so simple. I can't remember what he called it. The
Yeah,
rocket
the
itself.
Great Exodus.
Big time, dude. It's probably just gonna be him and a bunch of his rich friends. I don't know. Uh, leaving all us down here to deal with all the climate change. But what are they going to do? I mean, first you got to have stuff out there, and then if you got stuff out there, then you got to grow stuff, and then
Yeah,
if you got to
you
grow,
gotta deal with that stuff. You gotta fix stuff
I just
too.
don't get it. What's wrong with paying all that money for this planet? Let's fix
You
this
gotta
one,
make stuff, fix stuff
right?
on that planet.
I
Meanwhile,
know they
back
got to do
here, it's
all
like,
that
hey, we
work.
got trees and shit.
It barely holds on to any sort of an atmosphere. In fact, on my screensaver is a picture of Mars, and it's brown. You want to go? You want to go hang out with just everything where it just looks like a desert? Not me. Not me.
Yeah, the problem is the electromagnetics of the planet is freakish. You know,
Hmm.
like with us, we have a north and south pole that
Yeah.
prevents any kind of ionizing radiation from stripping our atmosphere off the fucking planet.
Correct.
Yet Mars still has an atmosphere that's
Barely.
yeah, barely. And you open your visors like carbon, and you got the idea of Arnold Schwarzenegger with his
Oh yeah.
eyeballs popping out and shit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
oh no, the Great Pyramid of Mars is pumping oxygen down to you, and you're like, I can breathe again. But
Um. I just don't get it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just too old school still. But uh, but having said that, I would take a flight. I would if Charles Branson said, hey, this Virgin Galactic is working, and we're giving out free rides, and I just happen to be one of those lucky few Twitter guys. Uh, who knows? I wouldn't mind taking a flight around the moon, but I wouldn't want to go stay on it. I wouldn't want to live on it.
Who wants to stay on the moon?
I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, just work there for a little bit, and then okay, it's time.
Unless it's all military, because there's just a strategic,
Yeah.
a strategic
No
reason.
plants allowed.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, what? Yeah, sure. You're gonna have to bring all those seeds from here anyway. So I don't know. It would definitely be a lot more regulated. That's for sure. Living on the moon,
No,
you
yeah.
you couldn't go, start a riot.
Who would do that on the moon?
You couldn't go have a protest on the moon. Right?
I'm going crazy, and then they just inject
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have a good casino. I'm telling you, keep the people entertained.
Yeah, you gotta have the beer, the alien beer, man.
Yeah, sure.
Gotta have somebody distilling some vodka for all the Russians. Nostrovia, man.
I guess Mars would be, I guess, a little bit better because they got, I don't
An
know,
atmosphere,
weather,
carbon
extreme
dioxide.
weather. The extreme weather of Mars would make it exciting for a while, but and terrifying. And then, I know there's a lot of adventurous people out there who want to go and do these things, and that's what Elon says. He says this is out of the spirit of nature. It's the spirit of adventure. It's in our nature as a human being to do these things. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's why we had cameras go up there and roam around, and
And
but
we sent
it's not a bad
something the size
outpost.
of a Volkswagen Bug there
Don't get me
too.
wrong. That's not a bad outpost to say if we were to find on Titan underneath the ice a wonderful liquid water, and just an
And a
amazing
big ass whale that was
and a
pissed off.
big ass whale, and but there's the rub again. It's another environment not suitable for humans to naturally live in. So we'd have to go down there and build a lot of aquariums for humans, so that way we could study,
Humarians.
and who knows, maybe on Titan under the water they've got technologies that blend the space and the water.
Titan. Wait, you mean Europa, right?
Was it
'Cause
Europa?
Yeah, it's Europa.
Okay, so Titan doesn't
Titan
say
is
that?
a volcanic shitty rock.
Oh,
Well,
that
hey,
one
you get some good resources out of it, though.
yeah, when we can figure out how to swim through lava, now we're talking.
Well, no, it's just I think they're methane shitty volcanoes
Oh, that's not so dangerous.
or something like that. You don't want to light a match or
But yeah,
smoke near it.
Europa, that's the one. I heard
Yeah.
about that planet when they said legitimately that's an ice planet, and I was like, and there could be water under it, and they said,
Oh,
yeah.
wait a second, man! It's a moon.
Well, it is. It's not a very big one. It's not a very big one. But still, it's got something there. Something that can be explored. So
We'll wait
Mars
until
is,
we get to Mars before we think of going
well, that's
far
what I was going to say. To Mars, we set up an outpost, and then it would be so much easier to shoot rockets from Mars to Europa rather than Earth to Europa all the time.
Until we get into Star Trek phase, then it doesn't matter.
No, I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to go there. I want to do it real. I want to be real about it. I mean, as real as current technology will let us. But having said that, we still have to say, okay, well, there's always a possibility we could just beam ourselves back and forth. I don't want to let go of that either. Because that's forward thinking, right?
Beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah, surely. Who knows? But anyway,
Sci-Fi Channel had this one series that was pretty crazy,
hmm,
um,
we
where
got
they
5 minutes
used
left.
real
Let's go.
physics around, you know, orbital technology of rockets and stuff. And of course, they had to throw in their own little gimmick of this crazy space alien shit. Yeah,
Right. Is it
it,
crazy or is it space alien? Or can it be a possibility? Right.
yeah. But they were, you know, going out to the furthest reaches in space, and part of it was um, the effects of space, where people grew longer legs and were less, they couldn't come to Earth and survive.
Hmm.
So space travel, I mean, think of Mars. It's um, a percentage less than the Earth's gravity.
Okay.
So the further in space you go, you got moons and stuff. It's still a small bit of gravity. Think of the moon. There's some sort of gravity there, but
Everything's
what
tugging
if
on it.
somebody
Honestly.
was born on the moon and they lived there all their life? You know, um,
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah. I've heard. There was.
structural
I saw that show. There was a show
anatomy
about that.
would be weird.
Right. Yeah, the kid. They tried to bring him home for a bit, and it didn't work out so
Oh
good.
no, that was a movie.
Yeah, he was born on Mars, and then
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah. That
brought
was
him
a
to
movie.
Earth, and it just didn't feel good. Or
Yeah,
yeah, because his bones didn't have the structuring. He had to do a lot of work or something. I remember
yeah,
that
yeah,
part.
yeah,
That was a cool way to.
and a lot of drugs too.
That was a cool way to pitch that, by the way. I thought that was pretty intelligent. All right, hey, I got to tell you what, man, we're gonna wrap the show up here, man. We've done our hour, and I'm feeling groovy. I need to get out. We gotta get outside, take a look at the stars, have a go at that, see what we
Everybody
can
gotta
pick up.
look at the stars.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, hey, Alien Beer, dude. Thanks for coming on, dude. I'm glad you did that,
Hey,
man.
no problem.
We got one of our main guys missing in action right now, but I'm sure he's just going through some stuff, and he'll be back ASAP. I'm sure. We're all thinking about you, Manny. We hope everything's going good. We know you had a lot of stuff going on with your mom going on there and bugs and stuff. So we just want to wish you good luck with that. Green Man, Game Vet, thank you guys for coming in. Alien Beer, once again, it was an honor to talk to you, sir. And hey, we'll check you guys out
Hey,
on this.
don't call me sir.
Alrighty, you guys stay safe out there in New York and everywhere else. My name's The Norm. This has been UFO Buster Radio Podcast, the Friday Night Freakout. You guys have a good one. Ciao.